The woman sat in front of the ship's system and began to navigate through the central computer to try to recover Frando and Gishi's ships. Her eyes widened in confusion and she couldn't help but sweat. She couldn't believe what was happening. Several red windows appeared on the computer, and a message from the system revealed that data recovery had stopped. The woman became confused and started typing. She didn't know why it had stopped. The leader approached her and his attention was fixed on the computer. With a serious expression, he asked if there was any problem. Her eyes began to shine with fear when she revealed that someone was preventing the return of the ship. With a gaze full of confidence, she mentioned that it must be the natives of the planet. She assumed that, possessing level 9 strength, they had found the ship that transported them and now considered it their treasure, which is why they did not want to let it go. Upon hearing this, the leader's eyes began to shine with excitement. He started touching his chin and with a smile gave her the order to kill them. Upon hearing the order, she pressed the red button and decided to fire the gamma particle cannon immediately. Not long after, their eyes widened in surprise and confusion, leaving them in shock. They could not believe what their eyes were witnessing. The hand of Lu Sheng's martial spirit tightly grabbed Frando's ship, preventing it from flying away. The leader's attention was fixed on it, and he began to ponder silently. With eyes shining with confusion, he began to scream as he could not believe that the spaceship had been caught by a warrior's martial spirit. But just then, the powerful martial spirit of Lu Sheng, which was surrounded by suffocating martial energy, tightly clenched its fist, destroying Frando's spaceship without leaving a trace. Inside the martial spirit was Lu Sheng, with his body surrounded by martial energy and his eyes shining with tranquility. The leader's attention focused on him, realizing that he was the one who had summoned such a powerful martial spirit. Sensing that someone was watching him, with a murderous gaze, Lu Sheng turned around and began to stare intently in the direction where the leader's ship was located. The screen began to show a photograph of Lu Sheng. Crimson Eye felt somewhat surprised. He realized that power, despite being only level 9, could already compete with the power of a level 10 ship, and that his physical strength was comparable to that of a body of the same level. Upon feeling Lu Sheng's gaze, the leader's eyes widened in fear and he couldn't help but sweat, realizing that Lu Sheng had an extraordinary physical constitution. With an excited expression, he clenched his fist and with a smile asked the woman if she knew the value that a slave like Lu Sheng would reach in black crystal coins. The woman began to observe him silently, not knowing what to say. Crimson Eye's eyes began to shine with malice and a smile spread across his face when he revealed that, at the highest level auction house of the Yamu Star sector, the genius with an extraordinary physical constitution of Dawn Star level had once been auctioned off, and that the final price had reached the exorbitant figure of 1 billion. Upon hearing this, the woman's face filled with shock and her jaw dropped in surprise. She couldn't believe that a slave could be worth so much. He began to touch his chin and couldn't help but smile as he realized that by just capturing him, he could buy several low-level life planets. He began to carefully observe the system window, realizing that judging by his performance, Lu Sheng was worth at least the same as a Dawn Star level. With an expression full of excitement, he reached out toward the system window. His eyes began to shine with malice and an excited smile spread across his face, since according to him, the value of a single person like Lu Sheng was equivalent to looting 100 planets of inferior civilizations. The woman approached him and, with a worried expression, asked him if the disappearance of Iji and the others might not have been caused by Lu Sheng. He began to gaze toward the ground and could not help but smile. The woman began to observe him closely, not knowing what he had in mind. He began to stare at her and with a confident smile made it clear that no longer mattered. He was the possessor of an extraordinary physical constitution of Morning Star level, whose strength was only level 9, and in that region of space there was no existence above level 10. He placed his hand on her shoulder, extended the other one and with an expression full of emotion asked Venomous Scorpion if she knew what this was called, revealing that it was a gift the cosmos had given them, a predestined opportunity, and an incredible stroke of luck. His eyes began to shine. He knew better than anyone that it would be a disgrace if they didn't capture Lu Sheng, so he gave her the order to immediately send out the demonic silver guards. He started to touch his chin and began to ponder. Suddenly he realized that this action could allow Lu Sheng to escape. Using his power, he disappeared from the place and decided it was better to take care of it personally. He asked her to operate the ship to help him capture him, warning her to be very careful not to hurt his golden bun. The woman remained silent, without saying a single word, then her attention fixed on the system window. She couldn't believe that a slave like Lu Sheng was so valuable. She put her hand over her chest and her mind filled with worry. She felt uneasy and wondered if the cause was not knowing whether Iji and the others were dead or alive, a feeling she could not fully understand. She turned around and decided to forget about the matter since, with the power of Crimson Eye, which was almost level 11, and the support of the level 11 ship Demon Claw, it would be the joke of the century if she couldn't subdue a simple level 9 warrior. At the same time, near the blue star, someone was flying at high speed. It was none other than Lu Shang. His eyes were shining with excitement. He wanted Crimson Eye to come as soon as possible. With a curious expression, he turned around, since he couldn't wait to feel how powerful that almost level 11 force was. The spaceship of Crimson Eye made a space jump and appeared in the galaxy where Lu Shang's planet was. Inside the ship was Crimson Eye sitting controlling the ship, wondering what it meant that a billion black crystal coins seemed to beckon him. His eyes expanded with confidence and a joyful smile appeared on his face, because for him, that fortune represented resources, power, status, and even freedom. With a joyful look, he clenched his fist tightly, for he knew that not only would he have more chances to ascend to level 11, but he could also cleanse his sins and live openly on a planet of a superior civilization. While his ship sailed at high speed, passing by the planets, he felt that the transition from being an infamous space pirate to becoming a true aristocrat of the cosmos was within reach. His ship was getting closer and closer to Lu Shang, going from being 1,000 kilometers away to just 300. Just then, a system warning appeared. His attention fixed on it and his eyes filled with confusion as he realized that his spaceship, Demon Claw level 11, had just issued a danger alert. Far from feeling fear, a stubborn smile appeared on his face. He found it interesting that a simple level 9 warrior with an extraordinary constitution could be so threatening. In his opinion, the stronger the potential, the more valuable it was, and he considered that it would be even more satisfying to tame such an indomitable genius. Not long after, his ship began to approach Lu Shang's planet. Our boy who was flying in space began to observe the ship in silence. Crimson Eye came out of his spaceship and appeared in front of Lu Shang. He couldn't help but smile when he saw that the brat was waiting for him. He couldn't believe that Lu Shang wasn't afraid of death. For him, Lu Shang was incredible. He managed to make him feel the tension of a life or death battle, almost as if he were facing an expert of his same level. This truly excited him, so he finally asked what his name was. With his body surrounded by martial energy, Lu Shang remained silent, without saying a single word. Lu Shang approached him and introduced himself, saying it was time to stop talking. Upon hearing this, the leader couldn't help but feel excited and adopted an offensive stance. Lu Shang's attention was fixed on him and his eyes filled with confusion. He did not know what it was that he had in mind. With an evil expression, Crimson Eye joined his hands and began to summon a powerful black martial ball. With a smile, he revealed that Lu Shang was worthy of receiving it with that strength. Lu Shang began to observe carefully and his mind filled with fear, not knowing what was happening. Crimson Eye summoned a powerful tornado of energy and with a smile began to stare at Lu Shang, realizing that he was afraid. He mocked him, claiming that a mere level 9 could not be a threat and promised him it wouldn't hurt much, since everything would end in an instant. He launched the powerful tornado of energy toward Lu Shang. Instead of feeling fear, Lu Shang remained silent. His eyes filled with fear, and he couldn't help but clench his teeth tightly, realizing that this was level 11 power. Without wasting any more time, Lu Shang forcefully struck the tornado of energy. Not long after, a powerful martial energy shot out from his fist and reached Crimson Eye. He clenched his teeth tightly and his eyes filled with surprise. For him, this was impossible, since his opponent was only level 9. Lu Shang's energy began to scorch his body. He started screaming and went crazy because according to him this was impossible. Lu Shang's attack was so powerful that it blew up the nearby moon into pieces. Back on Crimson Eye's spaceship, the system began to reveal that he had died. Upon seeing this, the woman panicked because according to her this was impossible. Her eyes widened in surprise and terror as she processed the incredible truth. The level 10 leader had died, killed with a single blow by an extraordinary level 9 martial artist. With his body surrounded by energy, Lu Shang moved away from the moon, which was now shattered. With an angry expression, Lu Shang began to touch his head. Unintentionally, he had also destroyed the moon. He didn't know what to do now for the Mid-Autumn Festival. Thanks for watching Vivify Recaps. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and drop your next recap request in the comments. See you in the next one.